This episode, we're going to go through how to commit to conduct, which is all about how do you create flow, which turns on the tap to fill the plumbing system in the first place. The reason I have in my hands here earphones is if you're the same as me, you have had times in your life when your earphones stop working, and what happens is you can't hear the music, or it crackles, or it kind of like bends and it breaks, usually when you actually most need them, and you got to go out and get new earphones. This is about conduct. There is a wire that goes through this, which is electric. This is your electric conductor. And if you have it working, then you hear the music. And if you don't, then you don't. What we've got here is we've got the levels of conduct which go from the victim, survivor. If you haven't gone through the test yet, go link on this link here, because this will give you to the test. But this here goes through everything from something like headphones, which is just getting going, creating a thread which creates the flow as a conductor, all the way up to the point where you've actually got, like if you go to a big concert, they've got much thicker cables, which allows you to have massive speakers where there are people all over the stadium that can hear the music. By the time you get to the top, it's actually turned into these, I mean, you can see them, the overhead cables in every city. These are basically the electric cables that power entire houses. That's what happens as you go higher and higher as well. But you've got to start from the beginning by saying, how do I actually make sure I can make that extra bit of money? Extra $10 or extra $100 or an extra $1,000. What is it you're looking to make? So what we have here is, as well as having this link here, I'm actually right now, if you want to do a quick scan around, we've got some people here with us. We're going to come down and speak to a few of our guys here. We're going to start with Phil here, right? If you can follow me. Hey, Phil.
Hey, awesome to be here.
Yeah, we're here in Bali, where we are actually going through a process to figure out how to turn on the tap more in a particular area, right?
Yep.
So your business, do you want to just share everyone what it is?
My business is Property Joint Ventures, based in Brisbane.
Okay, so this is where you are looking to, like in terms of the promotion you're running, you're looking to make an extra, like how much revenue next year would you say?
Oh, just in the next year, just purely attracting new investors onto a new group called Collaborate 100.
Okay.
Another 160,000 just from the direct revenue of engaging that group.
Okay.
On top of that will be the whole new projects we bring to the table as well.
All right, which will be more in the millions in terms
absolutely,
of investment, right?
absolutely.
So
we raise 3 to 5 million for each project.
Okay,
yeah.
so it's like a masterminding group, and then it's the investor group as well, right?
Correct. So we're taking it to that next stage and diversifying the income.
Okay. Now, the point is you've already done investments where you've already made that kind of money. So while on the one hand, you're learning new things, on the other hand, you're not getting into territory which is so far out of your comfort level that you end up losing confidence or credibility or anything like that because you've already got that track record, right?
Correct. Yeah. And I've done that in a way where we've repeated projects, 5-6 projects.
Yeah.
I've brought in partners.
Right.
And we're about committing to conduct and raising the standards.
Right. Okay. So take that as a thought, right? I'm going to come over to the other side. Yeah. We're going to come and see Dee over here. And Dee, how are you?
Fine, how are you?
I'm good. Okay, so could you share for everyone what you do?
I run a company called Catalyst International. We focus on coaching and training in the leadership space.
All right, and you have you've won all sorts of awards doing this, working with others, and you're now creating your own mentoring program that you're going to be growing, right?
Absolutely, called Catalyst for Inspired Leaders.
All right, now in your case, what was the revenues that you chose that you wanted to make extra by turning on the tap?
$166,000 in the first year.
In the first year.
Yeah.
And you've already gone out to some of your past clients, and tell us what kind of response you've been getting.
We've got an excellent response to the content of the webinars and also what other services that I can offer to them.
Right.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
So this is turning a business from one in which you're showing up at the office every day or going in, meeting people face to face, to one where effectively you can do the whole thing online, right?
Absolutely.
You can do it from anywhere.
Can do it from home.
Right. But still earning the right. These are two people that have earned the right at a certain level and now saying, right, I want to lift up to that next level. And you're going to ask that question for yourself as well. What is the part that's going to stretch you, but not so far that you get to breaking point, right? So thank you, Dee.
You're welcome.
Thank you for that. And here is a easy way for you to track. This is something called the power of zero. And the power of zero is the fact that there is something which is a number which for you feels like not so much money, and another number which is feeling like a stretch. And it just so happens that naturally as we go up the levels, and what's really important about this is we've all gone through this kind of a process. There's a video that you can see, and here's the link to the video. And this video here is one where I share my story of going through this idea of just starting really small, growing. When I was in infrared, when I was in debt, and how within 2.5 years I went from being in debt to generating over $1 million cash flow a year by just following these steps, right? We can all do it, but it's a matter of making sure we're following step by step. If you're somewhere between, like $10 feeling like it's already a stretch for you. It's like, going out getting a meal and having to spend that extra $10. You'd rather, rather not do that. At infrared, we're watching every dollar. By the time we get up to red level, then $100 is okay for us to go out and spend the money one form or another doing that, but 1,000 is a stretch. So going out saying, well, how would I make that extra 1,000? Well, it's kind of like the only way I can do that is my time. But then you get up to 1,000, which is where someone at orange level says, no, it's not just my time, it's me working with the right people that actually have that flow. So at wherever level you are, you have to stretch up to that next level in terms of how you're using the values around you, which we'll get onto in a moment. Or at orange level, you're there saying, well, 1,000, I'd really have to, I can see how I can make an extra 1,000, but 10,000, that's out of my realm. Well, that's why you need to go on to yellow level, which is someone who's now got their own business, where you're saying, well, it won't be my time, it won't be me connecting with someone who knows how to make money, it'll be a project that I'm starting up with my own products, with things that I can now be doing that generate that 10,000, and that could be done within 3 months. Or in the case of both Phil and DFO so far, they've got a plan taking them out a year, where they've chunked it down to 3 months at a time, just like the vision you've set so far. 100,000 is a big deal for yellow, but it's not a big deal for green, because to get to 100,000 in your own time and product, very difficult. With a team around you, much easier. And then you heard exactly what Phil was doing. He's up going to the $1 million mark. So these are two examples of going green to blue, where if you've had that experience, then the real question now is how much you want to turn on that tap to get that experience again and again, of making sure that you do have the chord working and the music is working, rather than a good example is you've been to a bad hotel where you go into the shower, and when you're in the shower, you kind of like waiting, it's like perfect temperature, and then it goes really, really hot, then it goes really, really cold. And this is what happens when we have no control over flow. We just stop using the shower, right? And a lot of us have that same experience with money. This is about you controlling that flow as you grow. Okay, one thing I'm going to share before I get a few more people to share here. There's a book out, which I do recommend you read. It's Tony Robbins' most recent book. It's the one called Money. It's the 7 steps to master your own wealth. And there's a great video he shows where he's in an interview with Brendon Burchard. And we'll put a link on the video here or here. And this is a video where he goes through his story of exactly the same. I have a story too of me moving. His story's got into much bigger numbers, where he's actually, same thing, said there was a time when 1,000 was a lot of money to me. And then it became where 100,000 was a lot of money to me. And then it was 1 million. And then when I started losing that and I realized I could make more than that, then my consciousness changed as well. So this is all about you creating a shift in your consciousness and how that shifts too. But whereas Tony's book is all about wealth retention, how do you actually take the money you've got and just make sure you're investing it in the right way, which is really what we're covering on the last call, on the last video when I went through the plumbing system. I'm talking about wealth creation, which is, let's not just take your 100 or your 1,000 and try and make more out of it. Let's take your time and make sure you're making more like 10,000 or 100,000, because as your consciousness grows and what you can do to convert your time into money through your businesses and through the ways you're running your promotions, the easier it is for you to manage your investments as well, as you're hearing from some of the stories here. Okay, let's give a couple more examples, and then your time to take action. Let's come over to, okay, Matt, let's come over to you. Do you want to share with everyone where you're from?
Yeah, from the UK, we're a home care company, and we're planning to get European workers into the UK and to house them.
Awesome. So this is a great example of someone who has chosen to be in a particular area which is really needed right now, which is, would you say in the UK there are more people who need care than there are who are showing up, being in a position where they can actually be the carers?
There's a massive need for
Yeah, there is, right? Yeah. So the key thing is how to make that shift, and what would you say while you've been in Bali has been the key shift in your thinking in terms of how you're setting up a promotion, and what does that look like right now?
Thinking of it from more of a green level to a blue level, having more of a higher level thinking, so you've got your team running the promotion for you, and strategically it's a lot more clearer and crisper.
So you're actually doing more than just looking to bring in more carers, where you're going to be finding some from Europe who can come in and support in your area where there's a need, but you're actually getting into the property investment side as well, yes, where you're actually creating communities where people can be invested in there, can support the caring, and also support accommodation for those who are coming in from overseas to help you as well, right?
Yeah,
right.
Which will be the next level. Yeah.
That'll be the next level, right? And what's your number right now? What's the number you've been setting?
So for this year, from a staggered start, it's going to be around about 400,000.
Yeah.
By the end of the 12-month period, we're looking at 700,000 and upwards from year 2.
Awesome. Okay, got it. So like we're talking bigger numbers right now, and that might like, oops, intimidate you. It's not there to intimidate, it's there to say we're all at a different level. So let's do this real quick, because I want to get a couple more people showing. I'm falling around on the floor here. Anne-Marie, in the same way that Matt has got a very specific cause, which for him is on the care side, you're actually based right close by, right? You've got your property development in Gili at the moment?
Yes, I live in Bali, but I have a property in Gili. It's Villa Kakita, and it's the absolute beachfront villa over there. And next year, what we're going to do is develop 4 more villas on the beach. So we're looking for investors preferably with a conscience, a social conscience, because our villa is very environmentally sound. It's 90% recycled timber, and the other 10% of the timber that was used to build the house was out of Kalimantan from a respected worldwide wildlife fund timber plantation. Solar power, bioseptic systems, all of that stuff.
So your whole cause and your whole mission is to really make sure that like Gili becomes more self-sustaining environmentally, and that same mission can then move to Bali and to other parts of the world as well, because of all the changes that are happening in solar power. And just you happen to be on the property side, so you can bring that into it as well, right?
That's correct, because it's a remote location and it's a small place, so therefore things are much better, easy to do on a small microcosm than it is on a larger scale.
Right.
So therefore, and it's an island that doesn't have cars and doesn't have motorbikes. So therefore, already it's a very cool sort of place.
We should put a link down here for anyone who's interested, right?
Absolutely.
Here's a link down here.
Now you could look up www.villakakita.com, or you could contact me via my email, which is Anne-Marie Doherty, ANNEMAREEDOHERTY @yahoo.com.au.
Awesome.
Looking forward to talking to you soon.
Right, if you missed that, we'll put it in the link as well. How about that, right? That's
you.
awesome. Now, what's really key about this, and by the way, we just talked today about the difference and the shift of rather than kind of selling big chunks of the properties at like 300,000 each, you could start at a much lower level, whether it's 20,000, 30,000, something which allows people to get involved in the whole idea and even come out and stay, you know, during the year. So you're in progress of putting all this together at the moment. So if you're interested in something like that, then definitely connect with Anne-Marie. But the point is this, that every one of us, whatever your mission is, whatever you put down as your future vision, the key thing is it doesn't really deliver value in an effective way until you see money coming back the other way, right? So this isn't about people saying you've got a good idea, it's people saying, I'm willing to put some money your way because I know that the value I'm getting back is in excess of that, and that's when you know you're really delivering great value to the market, because the market's responding by actually giving you money to do it, right?
That's right, and they get an awesome holiday.
Yeah, that as well, exactly. So let's go from that concept to, finally, let's come over to Kaz and Simon, right? So we have Kaz here, and we have Simon here, and Kaz, you want to share with everyone, well, first of all, what you do and what you've set as a promotion and a turning on the tap exercise?
Yeah, sure. So I have a project turning into a business called Culture Unlock, which seeks to reinvigorate people's lives through cultural exploration, interaction and expression. So last year I started organising my own dance retreats, joint partnership with dance retreats, while actually still working in a job. And this next coming year, I'm looking to actually transition out of my job. My promotion was about bringing more value to the current dance retreats, which were at a low price point, and now I want to double that price point.
Awesome. So you're actually setting up a series of new retreats that you're going to be moving forward with, that people can get involved in.
Correct.
By the way, for all, like, if anyone here you think it sounds interesting and you'd like to connect up with, I'll give you guys can give me all links and I'll put them all on the video so you can get that as well, right? Cool. But here's a question. For the first retreat you're going to run, because you're at the same time you're also working, right? So you're actually doing this as kind of like an extra thing. What's the revenues you want to be generating from that retreat?
I want to be making around $650 per person with 24 people, so that's around $10,000 to $13,000 per retreat.
And then that would basically cover the retreat. It would get you a great group of people getting involved in something, getting that experience.
Exactly.
So what's important here, and you've done a retreat like that before, right?
I've done 5.
I've done 5 already. So it's about setting it up in such a way that it's building where you want to go. It's not stretching you too far. So this is a perfect example of like a yellow level promotion that you're running, which allows you to actually, the goal is that you'll be doing this regularly enough that you won't need to be doing a 9-to-5 job. You can just take this on. So you're building a bridge. It's not like jumping off the building and hoping to fly. It's building a bridge which you know allows you to support you, which is really the key behind this. And Simon, let's come over to Simon finally. Simon, how about for you? What would you share with everyone is key way you're setting up your promotion event?
So I'm just starting again at red level. So I'm having to get real about where the money's coming from.
Yes.
And take ownership of that and set standards and connect to flow. So I'm looking to connect with people who are doing the things that I'm passionate about already and learn from them and earn money from them so that I actually have a foundation on which to launch all of the many ideas that I have, which I think are fantastic.
Awesome.
But like you say, don't actually reflect that in the marketplace.
So you got to do one step at a time, right?
Yeah.
And you, while you've been here, have actually already found a number of companies or people you want to work with. One of them is us, and then there's others you found here or people you've also thought of as well, where just through your passions, your expertise, and what you do well, you can already see yourself earning money and connecting up with them, which then gets you into their flow, which then allows you to then build your own flow.
Yeah, and so it's taken me, this beautiful general idea I now have a focus for, which is I came with a project which wasn't about making money in the beginning, but was to connect people to their passions in life and actually the people who can actually connect them to living them. So I'm getting twofold things here, the practicality of how you can make that functional in the world that we live in with the world of money, and have it exist in a way that really benefits people so that their lives change rather than just the idea of their lives change.
Right. And so the key thing is this: if you've got great grand ideas at the moment, but you're saying, but I don't know how to turn this into money, the place to start is not by starting by saying, how do I make my idea work? The place to start is saying, how do I commit to conduct? How do I create conduct so I can see flow actually starting to take place? And I want to share with you, just from everything you've heard, a really simple way for you to actually consider that, so you set your number, right? Okay, I'm going to turn on the flow. Do I want to turn on the flow so the next 3 months I see an extra $1,000 a month? I see an extra $10,000. What's that number which stretches me but not so much that I break, and one that allows me to get into the habit of earning the right to go up to the next level as well? Okay, so I'm going to show you this up here. Guys, you've been here 3 weeks at Vision Villas. You enjoying it?
Yeah!
Enjoying it? Okay, come join us if you like to here as well. This here is a one-sheeter on the 10 values where all flow happens as a result of value. What you heard when there are 4 values here, which are the fundamental values where all money flows. They're flowing either because of retail values, money spent. So when you heard Matt, for example, saying, well, that's what I was spending money on, or that's what my business was based on, people would need care, the carers would show up, provide the care. That's money spent. The money spent, it doesn't come back. He's now progressing up to investment value, which is basically properties where the money's invested. It gets a return. You heard the same thing in what Anne-Marie's doing, the same thing in what Phil's doing. They're progressing up the value ladder here. But these value ladders are the ones that if you're at yellow, green level, and again, if you haven't taken the test, you know where the links are to do it, you can see that these are the ones that you can actually master straight away. But if you don't have those, you need to earn the right here first of all. These are the first 6, which are both yin value, yang value, the things that are internal, the things external. Core values you already have. You have these, you were born with them, your passions, your talents. So when you heard Simon talking about, hey, instead of me starting to just try and build my business, let me start with what I'm passionate about, what I'm talented about, and let me connect with teams that share those same passions with me and need my talents. And that's how he's actually now targeting for the revenues he's generating as he's learning. And what's he doing? He's going up to the next levels, knowledge and network, which is your mid values that you acquire, just that most of us don't acquire them through things we're passionate about. So you have to have your passions and talents aligned first. And as you know, we have the passion test, and the link is here for the passion test, or we have the genius test that you can take all for free. Knowledge and network is what he's now focused at. You heard Kaz, where her whole focus now is knowledge and network. She already has the passion talent. She's even built her knowledge and network a little bit. She's now building it up such that people will then be referring her through. There's enough flow coming. She's now got a business out of her concept. And you heard Dee, where Dee had knowledge and network, but she's gone back to passions and talents so that she can do what she really loves. And then she then lifts that up to this most important one, character and purpose, which is when you start getting all those referrals coming in. There's a video you can go watch, which I highly recommend you watch, where I walk through each of these in much more detail that you can see here as well. Here's the link to it. Make sure that you watch that. But the most important thing is set your number, right? Because on the next video, I'm going to go through the gears you set to make sure the flow starts increasing. We're getting right into the money now. So what do you want to set the number at? You want to make an extra $1,000, an extra $10,000, an extra 100? What would take you out of infrared if you're infrared? What would take you out of having to work if you were to aim for that number? And if you set that number first, without needing to know how it's going to happen, but starting by saying, right, what would I need to be doing from day one right now differently to get myself in the same environment as people who are making that kind of money, what would that be? By the next episode, I will go through exactly how you do it. Until then, and any questions you have, mention them here. Anyone here that you heard that you thought was doing something interesting, make sure you contact with them. We'll see you on the next episode. For everyone here, bye everyone. Do you want to say shout bye to everyone?
See you later.
All right, good luck on everything, and we'll catch you on the next episode.